I never know what's going to come out of my mouth when I go live. And today it was, hi. Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Friday Eve. Whew. Have you ever had a Monday on a Thursday? I'm having a Monday on a Thursday. But that's okay because I get to come here and make beautiful jewelry with all of you all, and I don't have to think about all of the things that I have been dealing with this morning. All of those things can just go away for now. So that's good. I love it. I love this part of my day. It's awesome. And I have beautiful things to share with you guys today. I'm super excited to show you. Hi, Janice. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Lena. And Joan. Joan, I think that might have been you that just buzzed on my phone. I'll check when we get done here. So how is everybody? I am so glad it's almost the weekend. It is 7 days until I go to Bead Fest. Yay! I'm so excited. So that's something that I wanted to mention before we get into the project. If you're going to Bead Fest, go over to the Jesse James Beads website and pick up, let's see, you need a ticket for the scavenger hunt, which is going to be a lot of fun. Click on the Learn More button there, and you can learn all about that. And then the BYOB, and the B at the end is bead. I probably should have said that instead of BYOB. BYO Bead event that is happening after hours on Friday. Definitely want to get tickets for that as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really happy that I'm going to get to be there, and I'm going to get to see so many of you in person. It's going to be a wonderful event. We are going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time here too. You don't have to go all the way to Bead Fest to have a good time. We're going to play with jewelry. Well, we're going to play with gorgeous beads, and we're going to make a piece of jewelry, and we're going to stamp today. Who wants to stamp? I do. All right, so my new obsession is stamping. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I am really bad at it, but I'm okay for it. I'm here for it either way. I'm not really good at it. And I think it's because, well, I know it's because, just like everything else, it takes practice. And fortunately, there are tools that I'm going to show you guys that will help to make it even easier. So even for me, who cannot stamp in a straight line to save my life, we have help. And I know it's hard to see this with my light, but this is a stamp guide that you can pick up over on Jesse James Beads website. Yeah, you're gonna need one of these. If you start stamping and you're doing it freehand and it all looks like, oh yeah, get a stamp guide. I'm gonna show you how to use those because it's super, super cool. Hi everybody, I'm so glad everybody is here. All right, so we're gonna talk about stamping, but first let's talk about beads because yeah, yesterday was What's New Wednesday, and Sarah kind of teased at what is available. And if you'll go over to the Jesse James Beads website and check out, click on the new button. There's like its own little tab. It's the first thing that comes up. It's in green. It says new. Click on that and you're going to see a link to get your tickets for Bead Fest, the party, and you're also going to see all these new beads and Catastrophe, which is still there. Oh my gosh, I have a feeling there's only a couple of those left. So if you haven't gotten your Catastrophe beads, definitely do that. They're super, super cute. All right, so I have all of the Tibetan strands. Yeah, look at that. Don't you just want to cry? Am I the only person who feels that? Okay, yeah, I would really cry. But look at that. Look at that bead in the center. Yeah, that's pretty serious. So these are Luxe strands. That's why they have these amazing big beads on them. And I think this might be my very, very favorite. They all have names, and I've only had them for a short amount of time, so I don't know. Tibetan Sunrise, that's what this one is. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude by looking away. I'm just trying to see what the names are because I don't know yet. They're like seriously brand new. This is amazing. There's more. This is probably my second favorite. I love this one too. I don't remember what the name of this one is either. I don't know what the name of it is. Fire and Water. Yeah, this is a good one. So pretty. Look at that. And you get all of these really large beads, which are beautiful, but then the colors that they have added, the designers over at Jesse James Beads that have put the strands together, yeah, they're magical. they're just magical. That's the way it is. So I'm going to show you the others, and then I'm going to show you last the one that we're going to use in today's project. This one is really awesome as well. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I'm not even going to turn my head to look up the name. Y'all can go look. And then there are also mini lampwork strands that are gorgeous. And some of them will work with these. Like you could mix them all together. There's another one. Isn't that pretty? Super, super awesome. All right, second to last. I love this. This is one of my very favorite Jesse James beads. I love those. I think just put on a head pin and an ear wire and you've got a amazing earring. So yeah. All right, so the one that we're using, this one is so beautiful and you'll see it up close without the glare here in just a second. This is Midnight Swim. Yeah, oh, I got it right. This is Midnight Swim. This one is amazing. Like, yeah, it's Tibetan, but it also has that glam to it, which that's why I was drawn to this, because it's got so much sparkle and so much just bling going on. I really, really love it. So that's the strand that we're going to use. Definitely go over to Jesse James Beads, check out these strands, and you will not be disappointed. You want to grab those. All right, so we're also going to do some stamping. We're going to create a pendant of our very own using any word you want to, and we're going to stamp onto the blank. I'm going to show you how to do that, and we're using the typewriter stamps that you can also get over on Jesse James Beads. Let me show you what they look like when you get them. So they come in this little handy package and it's got all of them, and you can get the uppercase or the lowercase. I'm using all uppercase today because I'm just kind of feeling the whole all uppercase thing. I don't know. And then we're using, I thought these were super cool. So this stamp pack is border stamps and they're shaped a little bit differently. I'll show you, like the tip of these, see how small that is, but it's wide so that you can create a border. We're going to create a border the whole way around, and then we're going to use some patina and we're going to make it really pop. So the border stamp that we're using comes in a pack of 4, and you can get these as well over on Jesse James Beads. We're going to use this guy right here, this one. I had a hard time choosing because they're all really cool, and when you stamp them in a row, they look awesome. So yeah, that was a difficult choice, but I'm going to play with all of them. Not right now, but so you're going to need a few things. We're going to use some leather. We're using that 1.5 millimeter really small leather that I have absolutely fallen in love with, and a bead strand. So I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to stamp first. But before I do that, I do need to mention, it almost slipped my mind. Today you can get a 6-pack of free aluminum stamping blanks with a $35 purchase, and you enter free blanks in the checkout for your coupon code. So definitely, if you're ready to start stamping, that's a good way to start stocking up and getting your practice on, because it takes a little bit of practice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you're not gonna be perfect at it first try. If you are, you're amazing. It does take practice, but you know, all good things do, you know? So in other words, if my line, if my letters are crooked, please forgive me. All right, let's get started. You just like whacking things with a hammer. Kathleen, you know me so well. I kind of do. I mean, stamping is one of those things. It's like I said, I'm having a Monday on a Thursday, and I'm going to take it out on this blank. So yeah, we're going to hammer some stuff. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around and let's get started. All right. So, oh goodness, you guys are at a weird angle. I don't know. Some days I get it right, and some days you're a little crooked. That's all right. We'll go with it. All right, so this is that strand. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. It has these big check glass beads that have that fire polish to them, and that really goes very beautifully with the big metal beads with the blue. That's pretty stuff. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It really is beautiful. So we're going to use almost the entire strand in this design. So I love it when we get to use all the beads. That's always fun. All right, so I'm going to sit this to the side for just a second. and we're going to talk about the stamping. So one of the things you're going to have is a block. And fortunately for you, if you do not have a block, you can get one of those over at jessiejamesbeads.com as well. I mean, she really, not just she, because when I say she, I mean Sarah, but everybody at Jessie James Beads, like, they think out the whole, they're looking at the big picture. This is your one-stop shop. You can go pick up everything you need to make today's project, like, just all at once. I love that you don't have to go shopping all over the internet for the things that you need. So you're going to need a block. Probably will not look like mine. I've had this one forever, and it has blue paint on it, but that's okay. We don't care. All right, and you're going to need a blank, and we're using the bar blank. I think it has another word. It's just a rectangle. I'm sure that there's like an official word for this guy, but I always call it a bar because that's what it looks like. And you can use this in a couple of different ways. We're going to hang it this direction because that's where the hole is, but should you have a hole punch, you could punch a hole on it, and then you could use it this direction as well. So there's a lot of different options, okay? And if you'll notice, it has a line that goes all the way around it. So it's got this nice little border, and we're going to put our letters in the border, and we're going to use that edging stamp to go all around this edge. Okay, so it's really, really going to be, there's going to be a lot going on. Let me show you the one that I did ahead of time just so you can kind of get an idea. So the idea behind this is you want to use a positive affirmation word. Anything that speaks to you, that's your word for your blank. You can put anything you want to on there. You could put somebody's name if you wanted to, but I put ready on mine because I'm ready. Let's do this. That's really kind of what my mantra for the past 2 weeks has been. I am ready. Whatever is coming, I am ready. I'm going to handle it. So that's what my word is. And as you can see, it's not straight, but you know what? That just gives it character. I tried. So maybe I'll have a little bit better luck today. But that's what we're going to do. And you see how it has that edge on it. And then we're going to use the patina. You can use any color patina that you want to. I'm using the blue just because it goes with the beads. But yeah, so let's get started with that. So the easiest thing to do is to start with the word. I like to do the edging afterwards because that's really kind of the easy part. You guys are really at a strange angle for me. Let me try to... Oh, there, that makes a little bit more sense. Sorry, I don't mean to make anybody dizzy or seasick. Okay. Hi, Kelly. All right, so you are a little bit further away, but that's okay because I have to have room for the hammer in here. So you definitely want to pick up some Stamp Straight tape. This stuff is awesome. You can use this to tape your blank down to your block, or you can use it to make straight lines when you're stamping, and it doesn't leave a residue behind, which I really, really love, because there's nothing worse than taping something down, particularly jewelry that you're working on, and then you go to pull the tape up and it leaves that goo behind. That's just not, it's just not a good look. So we're going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to cut off 2 pieces of this, and we're going to tape down the ends. Now I like to lay my tape right up against that edge, that border edge, just so none of the main portion of where I'm stamping is hidden, so I can really kind of find the center. If you've moved it over too far, you might be off on your center. Okay, so I'm going to take another piece of tape. Try not to hit us with your hand. I know, wouldn't that be terrible if I just backed up with that hammer and hit the iPad and sent you guys flying? Oh, that would not be good. All right, so I'm just taping that down. All right, so this is step number 1. Now, if you wanted to, you could take your Stamp Straight tape. That's a mouthful. And you could tape it this way as well to create your straight line to make your stamp on. However, we do have the stamp guide, which you can get, and the stamp guide has lots of great things in it. Let me show you. So the stamp guide gives you these grid stickers that you can use for your round ones, for your round pendants, and it's already measured and marked off for you, which is awesome. you just stick it down on your blank, and then you can write your words on the actual stamp, and then, you know, you follow what I'm saying. All right, so that's what we're going to do, except we're going to do that with one of the straight ones. We're going to take this out of the little booklet, and we're going to lay this down on our stamp. And I'm really just kind of eyeballing it for the middle. You can definitely measure, but just to save time, I'm not measuring. So like I said, if it's not right, I apologize. Okay, so this line marks the middle, and like I said, I just eyeballed it, so it may not be exact, but it's pretty darn close. And then you want to take your pen, and you can space out your letters. And what's cool is it fits in between all the little spaces. So my word is ready, and the middle letter of that is A, so I want that to go in the center, and that's usually where I start. I can't even write in a straight line. I mean, come on. It's definitely a Monday on a Thursday. That's okay. It's all right. But you pick any word that really speaks to you. Like I said, you can put a name on this. The sky is the limit with stamping. That's what makes it so cool. And then it becomes a seriously personal thing. You know what I mean? It's not like you're buying a pre-made pendant, which can be great. But if you really want to give this as a gift and send a message to a loved one, this is the way to do it. Or a piece of jewelry for yourself, this is definitely the way to do it. Okay, so I like to take that middle letter, which is the A, and you can see I've got the little A here, and I'm going to line that up. And you want the edge of your stamp to be right up against the edge of your little sticker. And the best way to find that is just to kind of push it, and when you feel the resistance, stop. That's exactly where you want to place your stamp and hammer down. And the hammering part it's pretty straightforward, but you want to be sure that you're doing an even strike right on the top. You don't want to just hit the side and then you won't get the whole letter. That's what I say. It does take a little bit of practice. All right, Kathleen, here comes the test. If I have to back this up and hit you guys, I'm going to try to raise you up just a little bit. All right, so you just want to hold that still with your left hand or your non-dominant hand, and then you want to give it a good whack with the hammer. And once is really all you need, especially, not X, there's no X in that word, especially if you raise your stamp, you will never be able to put it back down in the same place. So don't ever try to do that. Just hope that you got it with one hit, which I did. That's pretty amazing. I'm impressed with myself. All right, so there's the A. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work this direction, and then we'll work back this direction. That's just what works for me. You do whatever works for you, because it really is just kind of trial and error when it comes to stamping. That's why it's good to have some aluminum blanks to practice on. Lots and lots of practice. Okay, so we're going to do the D next, and you want to be sure that the D is going to be going in the right direction. I have a tendency to do these the wrong way for whatever reason. I don't know. On some of the ImpressArt stamps, they have the word ImpressArt on the side, so you always know which direction. Thank you, Pam. You always know which direction your letters are facing. These don't have the mark on the side, so you do kind of have to just hope that you get it right, and that's what I'm doing. So if this is backwards, you guys can laugh, and we're just going to keep going, okay? There's the D, and you can see it's a little off, but it's pretty close. I'm not mad at it. All right, so now I'm going to go with the Y. Same thing, just kind of lining that up, feeling the resistance on that sticker that I have down. And there's the Y. All right, now we're going to go back the other direction, and we're going to do the E. All right. There's the E. Oh, it's a little crooked too, but you know, that's all right. It gives it personality, you know? And if I had a little bit more practice, I'd probably be better, but you know, well, I haven't stamped in a long, long time, so. Put a dot of nail polish on the right side to mark the right direction. That's brilliant. Thank you, Lynn. You whack twice to be sure. You know what? I'm sorry. Paula says, I whack twice to be sure. I do too, sometimes. And I don't if I feel like I accidentally moved the stamp. And 9 times out of 10, I let go. See it where it just moved a little bit. I don't trust it. I'd be afraid that I would mess it up. All right, so now we have our word, and it's fairly straight. The tape here really, really does help. If I had freehanded this, you would you would seriously be laughing. It's pretty scary without the tape. All right, so now we've got that word, and now we're going to do the edge. And if you'll notice, I took that off, but I'm not going to take the tape up just yet. I like to use the tape to hold it down as I do the edging. We're going to do the border, like I said, with that little shape. Here, I'll show it to you one more time, because now you're in a position where you can see it. We're going to use this one. I really, really like this guy. I like all of them, but this one was definitely my favorite. And all you want to do with this is you just want to line this up on the edge, and you want to use that ring that's all the way around kind of as your guide. Same thing, just use it like you were using the sticker. So you're going to put your stamp right up against that border that's already there. Okay, and you're going to hit it, and then you want to take the stamp up and move over just directly next to it. Okay, and you'll notice I'm not really stopping. I'm just going to keep going, because if I stop and move the stamp away too far, when I go back, it's never in the place where I want it to be. Now mine are a little bit far on the edge there, but that's all right. All right, so I'm just going right down the edge, just lining these up, one right after the other. And then when we add the patina, you'll see just how the addition of the border on the edge really makes it gives it a different look than if you just leave it without the border. So I just flip this around so that now this is my top. Same thing, right up against that bordered edge. Okay. For those of you who are coming to Bead Fest, we're going to be doing some stamping at Bead Fest. All right. One more. All right, so those really were like way up against the edge, but that's all right, because I like the way that that looks. And you play around with it and see what you like, you know? It is really kind of, well, it's just like any jewelry making, you know, the sky is the limit as far as the creativity is concerned, and you can take these stamps and do amazing things with them. Okay, so now we want to do the edges, and I did remove the tape. I'm just going to hold this down, and I'm going on one side of the hole here, and I'm going to do the other side. All right, now we're going to flip it around and do the other end. All right, so now we have this really pretty border that goes all the way around. And to make this all pop, we're going to use some patina paint. Now, I'm using blue, like I said. How do you keep the box from sliding? The box as in the, I'm sorry. The question was, how do you keep the box from sliding? And I'm assuming that you mean the charm. You use your stamp straight tape. I always have to look at it because I'm afraid I'm going to mix those words up. You can use the tape to tape it down to the surface, and then it doesn't leave that residue behind when you pull it back up. It's really a good thing to have. If you're going to pick up your stamping stuff, definitely grab the tape, because if you try to freehand this, your stamp is just going to roll all over the place on you, and it can be a headache. So definitely grab the tape. As for my block, it's not going anywhere. It's nice and heavy and weighted down, so I don't have to worry about it moving too much. All right, so we're going to use the patina. Lynn says this would also make a cute bracelet bar, just punch a hole in the other end. I agree. I agree. It would look really, really cool. And you could take the bracelet bending pliers if you wanted to give it a curve. Yeah, there's so many things. I love that. When you've got ideas like that, definitely put them out there, because that's something that other people might not have thought about. All right, so we're going to take the patina paint, and I like to make a mess. No, I like to fill in my letters. I just like to do a little bit at a time. So I'm just going to fill in the letters with my patina paint, and then I like to wipe it immediately. If I let it dry too long, then sometimes I have to use rubbing alcohol, and we just don't have time for that. So I'm just going to rub it in, rubbing it into the spaces, and I'm just using a paper towel so you can see all of that got down into the word. Isn't that cool? And if you feel like you've missed some, you can always go back and do it again, just until you get it the way you want it to look. Now we're going to do that border. And I'm just doing a small section at a time. And you're just going to wipe it away. What you're doing when you're wiping is you're kind of pushing the paint down into the grooves and then wiping away that surface paint. I just find that it works easier to do it this way than it does to put it all on there and then let it dry. It really takes a lot of elbow grease to get it off of the surface if you let it dry too long. All right, so you can see now all the stamping that we've done is really showing up beautifully now. Okay, just wipe that off some more. You guys, if you want to see more stamping projects, let me know, because like I said, the practice, I need the practice, and it's fun. It's really fun thing to do. Over on the Jessie James Beads website, there are a ton of stamps. There are a bunch of blanks. Just a whole lot of things that we could do. Okay, so now I want to do that border edge, which I got a little bit of, but I didn't get all of it. It's just that edging that was already there. And this, now you guys know why my block is blue. It's because where I've been stamping on it. Okay, so now I just want to check it and make sure that there is that patina paint everywhere that I want it to be. Looks pretty good. I'm going to wipe it just a little bit more, and then when you're finished and you let the patina dry, you can go over it with a soft cotton cloth and really bring out the shine to the piece. There's a little bit of extra there. All right. Just kind of scraping at the dried spots with my fingernail where I don't want them. The question is, can the stamps be used on leather as well, or just metal? Well, you know, I think that these in particular are made just for metal, but I don't really know for sure if they would work on leather or not. You could certainly try it, but these in particular are definitely geared towards using on metal. But, you know, it doesn't mean you can't try. You never know. All right, so that looks pretty good. I could have definitely done a little bit better job, but you know, we're all here learning. Even I am. So that's our pendant. We're ready to create a piece of jewelry with it. And now I have something that's really, really special that I made, not just the necklace portion, but the charm portion as well, which I love that. I think that that's really, it's really awesome that we can do that. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to sit this to the side. We're going to come back to this. In fact, we're going to do this at the end. We're going to attach this to the piece at the end. To start with, let me move my stamps. We're going to take 2 pieces of 1.5 millimeter leather. You can get this over on Jessie James Beads website. And I'm using this metallic brown color. It actually has a name. I just don't know off the top of my head what it is. I've got 2 pieces that are about 20 inches long. Sorry, I've got that way up there. Okay, and we're going to find the middle of this. We're going to take a jump ring. I'm using a 6 millimeter jump ring from my handy little variety pack. So if you need to get findings, definitely grab those while you're shopping on your stamps and your beads. I'm going to thread this on to both of my cords and just ignore the blue paint on my hands. And now I'm going to take the ends together and I'm going to find the middle with that jump ring. Okay, so there he is. And I'm just kind of pinching all of the leather together. Now I'm going to take the cord and I'm just going to tie an overhanded knot with all 4 strands. Okay, and I want to cinch that down as close to that jump ring as I can get it. And I like to make my knot a pretty one, you know, so it does take a little bit of kind of placing that leather where you want it to lay. You can loosen it up and lay it back down again before you pull it tight and just get that knot exactly the way you want it to look. And what's great about this leather is it's very, very soft, so it's very forgiving. It will definitely, you can undo your knot and do it again, and it doesn't create nasty marks in your leather. And because it's so soft, it really does give you the ability to kind of manipulate it into the shape that you want it, which I love. To me, that's the sign of good leather. All right, so now we're going to come up here to our strands. This is actually where our pendant section is going to hang, but we're going to leave that till the very end. Sylvia says, if you wanted to orient the word vertically, how would you use the space guide on the tape? That's a really good question. So let me pull this back out here. I've got my old piece stuck. So you would just take your sticker and you would just lay it sideways. Let me see, I'll just turn this over so you get kind of an idea. So this is the back of our pendant. You would do it the exact same way. When you come in and write your letters on your sticker, you just want to write them up and down. So it will work either direction. All righty. Suzanne loves the color. Me too, me too. Okay, so we're going to take our strands of leather and we're going to separate these into 2 sections, one for the right side and one for the left side, and we're going to work with 2 at a time. So we're going to come into the bead strand and we're going to cut this guy and set all these beads free. Hooray! Now, like I said, we're going to use almost all of these beads. But we're going to focus on these larger beads first. This is going to be what our pendant, I'm sorry, he's up there where you can't see him. This is going to be the focal bead in the middle where our pendant is going to hang. So we're going to set him to the side. We don't need him for now. And we're not using the little spacers. I love to save these guys when I don't use them in a project and use them for other things. This is one of my favorite little components, metal components that comes on the strands. And we're going to focus on these big guys, okay? So that's one side over there and one side over here. I'm going to take out some of the smaller stuff. We're going to use that in a minute. We're going to start with this large check glass bead, and we're going to thread it on to just one of the strands. So we're just working on one side with 2 strands. Thread that on to one, and this is really straightforward and really super easy to do, but looks really, really good. So now I'm going to take my bead and my leather, and that other strand is going to lay over the surface of the bead, and then I'm going to tie another overhanded knot. So there's not any special knotting that we're doing with this project. We're just using simple overhanded knots. Okay, and then I just want to pull that as close to the bead as I can. Okay, and now I'm going to thread on another bead, but this time I'm going to alternate the strand. This is the strand that bead is on. We're going to thread a bead onto the opposite strand now. So we're going to thread on one of these, and we're just going to continue the pattern. We want that piece of leather to go right across the surface of the bead, and then we're just tying a simple overhanded knot. And it doesn't require any tools other than your fingers. You could use a beading awl here if you feel like you need to get that knot close to the surface of the bead. But with this leather, it really isn't necessary. It will really do the work for you. Okay, so looking at my strands again, This is the strand that I'm going to add a bead to. So I'm going to add this really awesome galaxy bead. I think I got that right. I'm pretty sure that's a galaxy bead. I think they look like sparkly little gumdrops. They're one of my favorites, and they're just so sparkly and beautiful. All right, same thing. Leather's going across the surface, and then we're just doing an overhanded knot. Okay. Now you'll notice this guy's going to hang a little bit different on the strand because of the way that it's shaped. And I love that. It's like each bead has its own little character, and it really shows off the shape and the way that that bead hangs. When you do a two-strand design like this, it really kind of features the bead in a way that you wouldn't necessarily get if you just did a single strand and they were all lined up in a nice little row. So this is kind of a cool way to show off the different shapes of the beads. So definitely take that into consideration when you are designing with Jesse James beads, because you're working with a lot of different shapes and a lot of different textures. And if you want to show those off, sometimes a straight line is not, I mean, it always looks beautiful in a straight line, but sometimes if you think outside the box a little bit, you can really play on the shape of the beads by hanging them differently than you normally would. All right, so we've got one more. Well, actually, we've got two more because we've got this little tiny bead. He's going to go at the end. I'm going to thread this guy on, just alternating the strands so that everything kind of hangs a little bit differently, which I like. It really adds some extra movement to this. Joan says she was afraid to knot with this 5mm leather. I think I was calling it 1.5. I think you're right. It is 5mm. Joan knows. Joan knows I'm so bad with numbers and dates and things. But yeah, no, it knots really, really well. And it's so soft. It grabs onto itself. Like, I don't feel like I need to add glue at all. This stuff, I feel like I can really trust the knots. And they just, I don't know, they work up beautifully. I know that sometimes when I'm working with bulkier leather, the knots don't want to lay. And these really just, I don't know, it just, I'm just in awe. That's all I can say. I'm just in awe of this leather. Okay, so I've added this last bead, and I'm going to begin to tie this knot. But I'm not going to cinch it up just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the motions of creating the knot, but I'm leaving my loop open. I'm not going to pull that tight just yet. And I'm going to move you guys back down now since we're not stamping anymore. All right. So now, before I pull that knot, and I could have thread this on, but I prefer to do it this way. I'm going to take another jump ring, and I'm going to open the jump ring up, and I'm going to thread it on to the two strands and close it back. And we're actually going to open this up again, but that's okay. And now I'm going to cinch my knot down, and I've just captured that jump ring in my knot. Sometimes when you thread the jump ring on and then tie your knot, the jump ring kind of gets tangled up in the wrong place. That's why I like to open it and close it in there. So now I'm just going to pull on the thread, or I'm sorry, the leather, just to kind of get the shape that I want on that last knot, because now it's actually holding something, so it doesn't behave in the same way as a knot that doesn't have anything captured in it would. Just takes a little extra love. Okay, so now we've got a jump ring on this end. It's ready to attach to some chain. We're going to do that part at the end, but I do have a little bit of a tail here, and I'm going to trim some of this off. If you don't like to have the extra little pieces of your leather hanging behind, you can trim this up very close to the knot. I would suggest putting a little tiny pinch of glue right there. That's really the only place that this design needs any more glue, or any glue at all rather. if you don't want these little pieces hanging. I like them. I think it just kind of adds to the overall design. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing over on the other side. Lynn says, I think I might add a few inches more to each strand. Well, we're going to add chain to this. This is we are making the tiniest necklace in the whole world. No, we're going to add some chain to this to really create some length. And I'm going to use some really beautiful chain from Jessie James Beads. You guys are going to see, I think you're really going to like it. It's really awesome. They've got some amazing chain. Like, they do everything really, really well. And I'm not just saying that. I'm serious. All right, so same thing. I've added a bead. We're just going to continue in the same pattern. And yeah, if you, in all seriousness though, if you did not want to add chain to this design, you could do 2 strands of this bead strand on either side, and it would be, I'm pretty sure that would be a whole length. You might have to add like an extension chain, but for the most part, I think you would have the full length of the necklace. All right, next bead. Oh, wrong strand. So you always want to double check if you're alternating the strands. You always want to double check the placement of your leather. Okay. Just making a little loop here. Okay, that one's done. And now we're moving on to this little galaxy bead that I love. These beads, if you just added those to a head pin, they sparkle so much all by themselves. I really, really love them. They make really beautiful, just, you know, single bead earrings. You've got plenty of sparkle if you use them by themselves. And then when you tie them in with other things, it just really adds a bit of glam to your design. They're really awesome beads. All right, so we've got 3 beads left. I'm gonna add this. I think that might be my favorite shape in this whole strand. I like that. This whole look is off the chain. Thank you, Kelly. I like it. It is off the chain. All right, so speeding right along here. Just gonna add these last 2 beads, and then we're gonna add our jump ring, and then I'm gonna show you guys this chain that is just awesome. If you have not gone over to Jessie James Bead, or, well, I'm sure that you have, obviously, but if you've never taken the time to check out the other things that are available on the website, definitely do that. Do yourself a favor and check out all the other things that there are, because chain is, it's good stuff. They have some of the most amazing chain, and it's hard to find chain. You know, if you were just shopping for chain and you didn't come to Jessie James Bead's website, you would be hard pressed, you know, looking for these kind of, I guess I would call them specialty chains, and they're just awesome. That's all I can say. All right, so last loop. Not going to pull this knot tight. Oh, Karen says she loves all the shopping info. She is new to JJB and really is inspired. Okay, let me tell you, since you are new to Jessie James Beads, go over to the website. Not yet. Wait till we're done. Go over to the website and check out all of the stuff. The pendants. Oh, man. Like, I'm in love with every single pendant on the website. I'm serious. Like, I love the pendants. And the chain is phenomenal. And then you can get all your findings, and you've got, you know, you've got a large selection of everything and tools. It's really, really a one-stop shop for everything. All right, so I'm going to open up this jump ring, and just like we did with the other one, I'm just going to open it up and thread it on before I pull that knot tight. Make sure that's closed up really well. And then I'm going to pull my knot down, try to get it as close to that bead as I can. It really helps with your knots if you pull the strands independently to kind of help place them where you want them. Okay, we're out of focus a little bit. There we go. All right, so same thing. I'm just going to come in and I'm going to trim that off, and I'm going to double check both sides to make sure that they're pretty even. That's good for me just to eyeball it. that was lucky. All right, so this is the center portion of your necklace. You've got your beads and they're hanging in this really funky, cool, very I don't know, it's very organic feeling when they're all kind of back and forth like that. I really love that. And we've got our jump ring down here where we're going to add our pendant. We're going to save all of that for the very end. So let's go ahead and add the chain, because I want to show you guys this chain. It's so pretty and it looks perfect with these beads. Look at that. So it has like the little brass rounds in the middle, and then it has like, I think these are enamel. I'm not sure what they are. The blue in there. That's good stuff. That's good. I love it. I love it. And it is absolutely perfect match for these beads. Love it. So what I've done is I've actually already put some of this together just to kind of save some time. But I had a really long strand of this and I cut it into I cut it into four 6-inch strands. Words are hard today. And I'm going to double it. So I'm going to have 2 strands on one side and 2 strands on the other side. And you can see my ends down here. There are those little loops at the bottom. They're ready to add to the jump ring. But more importantly, up here on the top, I actually did not cut this into 2 separate strands. I used one long strand and found the middle, which was one of these brass rounds, and it's all still connected. But I took 2 smaller jump rings and attached 2 jump rings to it. I know that's kind of, I hope you can see what I've done here. I just did it in advance just to save a little bit of time because it's just the jump ring thing. But instead of cutting the strand, I just added 2 smaller jump rings and then connected those 2 together with a larger jump ring and added my clasp. Now the reason that I did it this way is because sometimes when you do 2 strands, they don't want to lay separately. They want to twist all up and just make kind of a jumbled mess. But because of the shape of this guy, he's nice and flat, he's got loops on either end, I'm kind of using him like a connector. Even though he's part of the strand, he's used as a connector so that these strands are going to stay in their lane. Okay, they're going to stay just like that. And if they do twist a little bit, it's going to be okay. But for the most part, these are going to lay particularly up against the back of your neck. They're going to lay nice and flat. So just a little trick for the chain here. I know it's not much, but it's definitely, it looks kind of weird in the back. But if you use like a real pretty clasp here, it would take away from all these jump rings. But they definitely serve a purpose to kind of help both strands stay where they're supposed to be. Okay, so taking both ends, and we're going to come down here and open this jump ring again. Now you guys who've been watching me for a while, you know that I don't like to open and close jump rings more than I have to, but for this design in particular it was necessary. So we're going to go ahead and open this jump ring up, and we're going to thread on our pieces of chain, and I want to thread them on in the order. You know, you want to be sure that you're threading them on in the right order so that they continue to hang in the right direction. Okay, so I'm just threading both of those on, and now we're going to close that jump ring back. Okay, so now you've got your double strand of chain on one side. Same thing over here on the other side. I'm going to open up that jump ring. And I'm going to thread on my 2 pieces of chain. I'm going to lay them down first and make sure that I get them in the right position and thread them on in the order that they're hanging. Okay, and close that back. So now you've got the full length of your necklace. if it's a little short for you, this makes about a 16-inch or a 16.5 to 17-inch necklace. But if that's still a little bit short for you, you can definitely add an extension chain here if you want to, or you can make your chain pieces a little bit longer. You could add an additional inch or two to this. Either way would work for sure. And now we're ready to add our pendant here. And don't forget about it because we worked hard on this guy. So we've got our stamped pendant and we're going to hang him from this guy. So this is all going to be just some standard wire wrapping here. I'm going to take an eye pin and I'm going to thread this bead on with the eye pin. And now I'm going to create a wrapped loop. I'm just going to grab that wire. Let me move this out of the way so we can really focus here. All right, so I'm going to grab that wire right above the bead, bend it 90 degrees, taking it away, and you can see I've got a little bit of space here, which is what I need to replace with my round nose pliers so that the wire is running between the barrel of the round nose pliers. And then I'm just going to go up and over the top barrel, okay, and then turning the pliers around in my hand, guide that wire on around. So now you've got a loop. Putting it back on the pliers. I'm going to switch hands. And now I'm going to use another pair of pliers to grab that wire and wrap it around the straight section. And I've got plenty of room here, so I'm going to make about 4 wraps, and then we're just going to trim off that tail, and there's only going to be a little bit of tail left. I get a hold of it. All right, so now got this little tail piece. I'm going to cut that off. And I didn't quite get it. I come in with my pliers because there's a little tiny piece there that's sticking out. I'm just going to push him in so it's not sticking out. It's not going to get hung on anything. All right. So now I've got 2 more things I'm going to do before we connect all of this. These little guys were in the strand, and there's actually 4 of them. You could use all 4 of these. What gauge are your head pins? They are, I believe they're 21 gauge, but I wouldn't swear to that. Yeah, we're using head pins. There are 4 of these. You could use all 4 of them. We're just going to use 2 of them. And you could really kind of add these. I'll show you. There's other places where you could add these if you wanted to. I'm just going to thread this on to a head pin, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to create a wrapped loop. Going to kind of speed through it this time. And we're going to do 2 of these. Up and over. Adjust the pliers. Switch hands. Susie says she loves this design. Thank you. I do too. It really turned out beautifully. You know how sometimes you envision something and you go to execute and it doesn't turn out exactly like you wanted? I was happy to say that this turned out pretty much exactly like I was hoping. And I love it when that happens. It doesn't always happen that way, you know? So there's one. We're going to go ahead and do another one. And then we're just going to connect everything all together. We're using these as just a little extra kind of sparkle, some extra movement to the design. You can skip this part if you want to. All right, so now I'm going to trim that off. And we are ready to build the center of our design. And we still got 2 of these little guys left. These were the only guys left in the whole strand. You could take them and put them on an eye pin as well, or a head pin, and you could make cute little earrings out of those guys. Very understated. Let those be small and understated and really show off the necklace. All right, so let's build this together. So we're going to take a jump ring here. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to thread the pendant, our stamped pendant on. Then I'm going to thread on our 2 little dangles. Kelly says such a cute use for those little beads. It is. No bead left behind. That's my motto today. No bead left behind. So there are those cute little dangles. And now we're going to thread, before we close our jump ring, it's got one more job. This bottom loop on our bead, we're going to loop it onto that. And now we're going to close it up. So you got a lot hanging on this jump ring here. So you want to be sure you get it nice and closed so that it doesn't open up. All right, so now we have this. We're going to come back to, Joan says those two little leftover beads would make cute dangle off a bracelet clasp. Yes, they absolutely would. I love the little tiny beads. There's so many fun things you can do with them. All right, so we're going to attach this to this. And again, I'm breaking my rule of opening a jump ring more than I need to. But technically, we didn't open this one. We just thread it on. So this one hasn't actually been opened yet. We're going to open it up. And we're just going to thread on our wrapped loop. And we've got a very personalized, super cool necklace that is showing off these gorgeous Tibetan beads. And can we just talk about this chain? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was like the perfect combination. And then you've got your special word, whatever your word is, and you can wear it and think about it, keep it close to your heart. And oh yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's not, I don't always love what I design, you know? I mean, that's just honesty. I know that a lot of you out there are that way too. Sometimes you make something and everybody else loves it, but you don't. Occasionally I get it right with myself as well. And this was one that I feel like it all came together beautifully. So really, really like it. Let's talk about these little tiny beads one more time though, before we go back to my face. So these little guys, you could definitely add them, create earrings out of them. Or like Joan said, you could make these little dangles to go right at the clasp of a bracelet if you wanted to make a matching bracelet. Or you could add these to head pins and then just add them, hang them off of the leather anywhere you wanted to, just to kind of add extra movement. It really is all about movement when it comes to dangles. So either you want lots of movement or you want to keep the movement to a minimum. And that's just part of the principle of design. I'm just getting all technical on you. It's totally up to you. You know what I'm saying? Forget the technicalities. It's totally up to you. All right, you guys. I'm going to turn you around so that you can see this because it's kind of hard to see the whole thing. I'm going to hold it up for you. Okay. So I'll flip you guys back around. I'm always nervous when I flip you back around. I'm like, gosh, I hope I look okay. Because I'm all hunched over making jewelry, and when I raise back up, there's no telling what I'm going to look like when I flip you guys back around. All right, so look at it. Isn't it cute? Yeah, I really, really love it. Oh, by the way, you like my bracelet? This was from the Magical Mystery Box for July. It's just the strand that came in there, and I told Sarah when I got it, I was like, that's going to be a bracelet. I'm not doing anything with it other than making a bracelet out of it, and I love it. I've worn it every day since then. So yeah, I get off topic. You know, I have creative ADD. I can't help it. So here's our necklace. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it? Isn't it? How do you spell that? Isn't it? So yeah, you guys, super personalized jewelry. That's what's great about the stamping. So if you're interested in stamping, go check out the website, jessiejamesbeads.com. They've got everything that you need to get started. And if you want more help, let us know. We can make more stamping videos. We're going to do some stamping projects at Bead Fest. You know, if you guys are interested, like I said, I'm just repeating myself over and over again. Just let us know, because we want to give you guys, put it on. I will put it on. We want to give you guys projects that you want to see, you know, to keep you guys coming back for more. No, because we're just like you guys. Sometimes we get creative block. I was talking to Neela yesterday, and we were talking about creative block and how to get over creative block, and taking other people's suggestions is a great way to get over creative block. So if you've got ideas, you know, maybe you're thinking of something that I've never thought of before, or somebody else has never thought of before. It's great to bounce ideas off of each other. And that's a great segue into joining the Secret Stash group. If you are new to Jessie James Beads, or you are not a member of the Secret Stash group over on Facebook, go join the group. This is a weird angle. I have to move it now, but you guys like it? Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? So join the Secret Stash group, because I've not been a part of any other group that is more supportive, more creative. Like, everybody there is amazing. And I'm not just like tooting the horn just to toot. Just to toot. Yeah, okay. Anyway, it's a great group. It really is a great group. I check every morning to see, you know, my alarm goes off and I'm like, okay, now what do I do? I check my email, and then the very next thing that I do is I go to see, what is everybody talking about in the group today? That's how special it is. And once you become involved with that community, you get, you know, you need that creative outlet, you need that support system, and everybody there is there for that. There is no negativity. I've not run into any negativity, which is amazing, especially on Facebook. So check it out. If you're not part of the community, go join the community. Be part of the Jessie James Beads Secret Stash group. You will not regret it. And one more look at the necklace. It looks bad on this gray shirt, you guys. I should have worn something different, but I will have a picture and Sarah will post it. I'll take a pretty, you know, light box shot of it so that you guys can really see the beads in a light box setting. It always looks good on a white background. So that is it for me today. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for making my Monday, Thursday a Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm having a Monday. I'm not having a Monday anymore because I got to hang out with you guys, and that's awesome. So I really, really appreciate everybody being here to hang out and make pretty jewelry. Just a reminder, 6 free blanks with a $35 purchase. Go check that out. Take advantage of that. Pick up some of the Tibetan beads because they're gorgeous, and anything else that you happen to find. Add free blanks in the coupon box when you go shop, and get your oh my, get your free blanks to start stamping, you know. And if you got questions, send them my way, send them Sarah's way. We're always happy to help. You can join us again this time next week. I'm gonna do a project, and then I'm gonna go get on a plane, and I'm gonna come see you guys at Bead Fest. Yay! It's gonna be really exciting. So I am really looking forward to that. And we probably, if I know Sarah, I think we'll probably have some live video for you guys while we're there at Bead Fest. And if you want to see more projects from me in particular, 2 places where you can find me now other than here. You can catch me tomorrow on Sara Ellis Designs on Facebook at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing a project. I actually don't even know what tomorrow's project is going to be. It's a surprise even to me. And I'll have a teaser pic for that here in just a little bit. And I am happy to announce that I'm also working with Silver Silk. And after Bead Fest is over with, starting on August 22nd, I will be doing some Facebook Lives for Nile using Silver Silk as well. So yeah, we're just one big happy family here. That's what's so great about Jessie James Beads. So it's more than just beads, you guys, I promise you. So you all have a wonderful rest of the week. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys here again next week, same time, same place. Bye, guys.